Okay, let's just jump right in. What if I told you that you could get the incredible, deep, brain-cleaning benefits of a 3-day water fast, but in just 7 minutes? I know, it sounds pretty wild, right? But some MIT researchers are showing that a very specific breathing pattern can kickstart the exact same cellular cleanup process. And this isn't just a theory anymore, it's a real biological mechanism that we're finally beginning to understand. I mean, just look at the difference here. On one hand, you've got the grueling reality of a multi-day fast. We all know what that's like. The intense discipline, the hunger pangs, your entire life gets put on hold. And on the other hand, 7 minutes. Just 7 minutes in a quiet space with a bit of focus. The claim here, and it's a big one, is that both of these paths can lead to the exact same place, a deep, powerful renewal at the cellular level.
And let's be real for a second. Have you felt this? You know what I'm talking about. That brain fog that just rolls in mid-afternoon? That feeling that your thinking isn't quite as sharp, not as crisp as it once was? It's an incredibly common feeling. But here's the thing. It's not something you just have to accept. It's actually a signal from your body that something's going on deep inside your cells.
And this isn't just a vague feeling. It is a hard biological fact. The numbers are pretty stark. By the time you're 40 years old, your brain's own built-in cleanup system has already lost about half of its efficiency. That means we're building up cellular junk, things like damaged proteins and old, worn-out cell parts, way faster than our bodies can clear it all out.
So the hero in this whole story is a process called autophagy. Now, it literally means self-eating. The best way to think about it is like your body's own elite special forces cleanup crew. It goes in, it finds all the toxic waste and damaged cells, and it clears them out to make room for fresh, healthy new ones to grow. When this system is running smoothly, your body and your brain can absolutely thrive.
So the big question is, how do we switch this amazing system back on? Well, the answer isn't some brand new, fancy biohack. It's actually an ancient secret, one that's now being validated by the most rigorous modern science we have. We're talking about a direct line from the wisdom of ancient Tibetan monks all the way to Nobel Prize-winning research.
The journey of this idea is just incredible. It really starts all the way back in the 11th century. You had Tibetan monks developing something called tumo breath, this inner fire breath, to literally burn away impurities. Now, let's fast forward to 2016. Yoshinori Osumi wins a Nobel Prize for actually mapping the science of autophagy. And then, super recently, studies in 2019 and 2023 finally connected all the dots, proving that certain breathing patterns can flip the very same metabolic switches that fasting does.
Okay, so how on earth does this actually work? Well, our cells basically have two master switches. Think of the first one, MTR, as the growth switch. It's on when we're eating, telling our cells to build, grow, and multiply. But here's the catch. When MTR is on, that cleanup crew is off the clock. The other switch is called AMPK. That's the cleanup switch. It gets turned on by scarcity, like when you're fasting, or, as we now know, when you're doing specific breathing. And that is the signal that unleashes autophagy.
So how does breathing actually mimic fasting? Well, you're essentially tricking your cells. By making your exhale longer and holding your breath, you create this very short, totally controlled period of lower oxygen. It's called transient hypoxia. Your cells feel this and interpret it as a sign that resources might be scarce, just like they would during a fast, and they respond by flipping that AMPK switch and firing up the cleanup crew.
All right, so you get the science. Now, let's get to the good stuff, the practical part. This is the exact step-by-step 7-minute protocol you can use to activate this incredibly powerful system inside your own body.
Okay, we're going to start with 2 minutes of what's called metabolic priming. First, just sit up straight. And this isn't just about good posture, it actually helps optimize your vagus nerve, which has a nice calming effect. Then, just for a moment, notice how you're breathing, right now, no judgment. And finally, exhale all your air out, and just hold. That first little urge you feel to breathe in, that sensation of air hunger, that's your starting point. That's your baseline.
Now we get to the core of the practice. This is the 5-5-10 cycle. It's simple. You're going to inhale through your nose for a count of 5, hold that breath for a count of 5, and then, and this is the absolute key, you're going to exhale slowly through your nose for a full 10 seconds. That long, slow exhale is the main trigger for activating AMPK. You'll just repeat this cycle about 10 to 12 times.
And we finish up with the most powerful phase. In that final minute, after your very last 10-second exhale,
You're going to hold your breath out for as long as it feels comfortable. Aim for somewhere between 30 and 60 seconds. You'll feel that air hunger again, maybe even a little wave of warmth spreading through your body. That is the signal of a real metabolic shift happening. It's a spike in ketones that can fuel your brain and really deepen that autophagy process.
Now, a few really critical points here for safety and to make sure you get the best results. First, it's always best to do this on an empty stomach. Feeling a little bit of tingling or warmth is totally normal. In fact, it's a good sign. But please, never, ever force it to the point where you feel pain or panic. And remember, that air hunger feeling is the goal, not a problem to be avoided. And this is super important. If you are pregnant or have any of the conditions listed here, you're going to have to sit this one out. This technique is not for you.
So what can you actually expect if you decide to stick with this? Let's take a look at what you might feel right away, and then the really profound transformation that can happen over a 21-day cellular reset. See, this isn't just a one-and-done trick. It's more like training for your cells. Your body's response actually builds over time. Week after week, it gets better at it. After about 3 weeks of doing this every day, you can achieve a measurable 15 to 20% increase in your baseline autophagy efficiency. Your body's cleanup crew literally becomes stronger, faster, and way more effective. And that leads to some incredible long-term benefits, all backed by solid research. We're talking about real cognitive enhancement, sharper memory, faster thinking, as all that neuronal junk gets cleared out. We're talking about protecting your brain, having more stable energy throughout the day, and even activating the very same longevity pathways that scientists get so excited about for reversing cellular age.
But here is where this whole thing gets truly mind-blowing. This practice goes way beyond just a simple cellular cleaning. See, when researchers studied this, they found something absolutely extraordinary. The process doesn't just clear out random junk. It seems to selectively preserve and even strengthen the neural pathways you're actively using.
So what does that actually mean for you? It means that when your cells are in this deep state of renewal, your brain is incredibly malleable. It's like wet clay. It's a peak state of what scientists call neuroplasticity. The thoughts you choose to focus on, the intentions you set while you're in this state, those are the ones that get reinforced. You are literally actively helping to decide which parts of your brain get stronger. So the ancient wisdom has been validated, the science is becoming clear. You have a tool right now that can activate your body's most powerful system for renewal and regeneration, and it only takes 7 minutes a day. The only question left is, are you ready to use it?